Hello, my lovers. Welcome back to Kara's Love Techniques. I am Coach Kara, and today we are talking about toxic femininity in relationships. All right. So, the sole purpose for me doing this video is, it's another awareness video, is so that you can identify a certain behavior. And I think it's very important that we learn different types of characteristics and traits when it comes to human behavior, so that when you do experience this sort of behavior, you can kind of assume that this is what that may be and this is why that is. You understand? So that's what we're talking about today. Now, I know this sort of topic has been around for the past maybe 10 years or so, and it's quite popular, to believe it or not. So when we have a cisgender woman who has experienced that sort of masculine energy, she's exercising it. There's a reason for that, and we'll get into the whys and the causes momentarily. So typically this sort of female, when she gets into a relationship, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with someone who is more passive, she would probably rather be involved with someone who exude masculinity and, competition, of course, who exude that masculinity, who may even be more passive aggressive than she is. And so for this type of behavior, it's more of a controlling mechanism or factor for her. And it's to not to exude a certain level of power, but it's just to let the other person know that, hey, this is what is and this is who I am. Again, there's a reason for that. Her behavior, it can be quite intimidating, or it may not even come off as that to the other person that she with otherwise, because they may not be with her, but that's the energy behind it. Even though she may treat them as though they are her partner, it's very odd behavior, to say the least, when you really think about it. But it can be intimidating to someone on the outside, and they may even think that their person or her person is a bit passive and just sort of sits back and allow her to control and dictate and just be the focal point of the relationship, because there is a lot of selfish behavior. And with this level of femininity, it's to sort of ward off the traditional feminine stereotype about women, being nurturing and caring and soft-spoken and very well receptive, communicator, those sort of things. So for this type of woman, it is the complete opposite, with just a touch of sensitivity, but not very much of it. Everything is done in the manner of that of a masculine energy. She is non-supportive. She has, I wouldn't necessarily say poor communication, because the thing with this type of individual is she has like a selective hearing. What you're saying has to, I don't know, it has to be of interest to her. It has to probably be even about her, has something to do with making her content. You understand what I'm saying? So you can be giving this whole spiel about your day, yada, 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 or what you want to do in the future. If it does not pertain to her in the least, you may get very little interaction from it, or support, or whatever it is that you're seeking from her. As far as romance in the bedroom or even outside, look, either you're going to get this whole aggressive type energy going in, you may as well be with the same sex, or none at all. And the reason for not even wanting to engage in sex is just another controlling factor, and for whatever reasons behind that. Okay, so here is why this toxic femininity occurs. What she's basically doing is playing the victim. Perhaps I'm going to give a few reasons of why this may be. So perhaps she is the type that was raised in a household to where she was taught to be ladylike. A lady sits this way, she speaks this way, she eats in a certain manner, she sits properly, and she articulates her work. That sort of behavior and being around that sort of environment, and then growing up realizing that, hey, by me being as feminine, it prohibits me from doing what it is that I would like to do, like play soccer perhaps, or something that's a bit more masculine. It just sort of puts me in a certain category. And then as she grows up, she may transition into being more masculine. It has nothing to do with sexism at all. It's just that, hey, I prefer to be less feminine and then be more masculine, give that energy so that I can do whatever the hell it is that I want to do. You understand? So her environment, her surroundings, her upbringing may have put her in that mindset to be more in control of herself. You understand? I don't want to be told what to do or how to be when I could just let all of that go and be something else. It's kind of like a rebellion type mentality or reaction, I should say. Another reason could be being a feminine, she may have witnessed some sort of female abuse. It may not necessarily have been mom, or someone in her household, but may have been around that sort of environment, community, to where there was a lot of male domination and she just didn't like it. Well, I'll never let a guy talk to me like that, or I'll never be submissive and obey, may have just been totally against that sort of level of control that most men desire to have, or that are in many households. And because of that, it just may have just turned her off completely and made her rebel against being, submissive, being told what to do. It reminds me of the good girl gone bad type of energy that we're talking about here. She may also become this way as an adolescent or her younger self, as seeing women as a threat. May have some jealousy issues. Now, this type of individual, she's like a beast in the workplace. She's the one who's gossipy, may bully you or whatever, may be jealous. That type of person, you know who I'm talking about. There's always at least one in the workplace that is like that. She's like everybody's worst nightmare. But yes, she may see women as a threat in some kind of way, and because of that, she exudes this sort of masculinity to take control and charge of her world and to be seen in a different light, not as weak and not having a backbone. So just standing up and you can't tell me what to do, or you look like, it's so it's a lot when you think about it. But another reason could be is that she's had a negative past with men, may have been put in that situation to where she had to be the one to play the role of the housewife, and just losing herself in everyone in her household or family or wherever, and just not knowing who she is and engaging in herself, doing the whole self-care on a routinely basis, just losing herself because she allowed someone else to control her. As a result of that, this is what happens. Okay, so she is totally against just being told what to do and just losing all control, most of it anyway, to please someone else. Another reason could be probably the biggest reason of all, just simply insecurity. And because when many people are insecure, they react in a manner that is differently than how they really want to be. How they really are is not getting them the attention, the respect, the acknowledgement, not giving them that popularity like they would get if they tuned into their alter ego. You understand what I'm saying? So having that insecurity may cause her to come out of her shell, and unfortunately may never bring her back, because as they say, when a good girl goes bad, she's gone forever. And in this case, it's quite challenging to revert this sort of mindset. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you all. Let me know if you have experienced this with someone or somebody's. Hey, maybe even yourself. Okay, it's not something that someone wants to be. It's just what they become because of. It's a bit of a victim mentality, but to say the least, I just wanted you guys to be able to identify this sort of behavior, these traits, when you experience them and they present themselves. Okay. So yeah, that is all for now, my loves. I thank you for joining me always. Until next time.